I run into this. And these are reference pictures for the development of Manhunt. More so the design aspect. So if you guys look closely, you can see it right here. Manhunt Style Guide document. Version 0.1. October 15th, year 2000. And it's essentially a bunch of pictures that Rockstar team went ahead and took. And they started taking pictures of like grimy bits of the city. Not sure which city they did this in, but they took pictures of grimy bits of the city. And I think it's really freaking cool. Like, I think you can actually see this same image in the background of Manhunt. But yeah, I feel like this is a really cool bit of video game history. And truth be told, I just want to mention it because I don't get to be nerdy enough. But this is really cool. If you guys want to talk about it later, do let me know. This is actually available freely on the internet. Somebody released this a few days ago. You know, it has like insider information, like the Precinct. It says here, forms one of the most used areas of the game environment, as should be seen as a representation of the city as a whole, showing the edges of the Bowery developing into a cleaner, slightly wilted downtown type of area. Towards the north, the plush uptown plaza area style can be seen. Functioning shops, clubs, cinemas, bars, etc. all start to appear as opposed to the crumbling and city isolation of the Bowery. Now, if you guys play Manhunt, you guys know that the Precinct was not used as a most used area. It was mostly inside areas and possibly what they consider the Bowery. But yeah, this is pretty cool to me. Is that a freaking limo? I think that's a limo. This is really cool. Really love to see it. Oh, this was in New York City, NYPD. Those are the old cars. Love them. Man, this is actually really cool. But maybe I'm just nerding up over some of the other things. Like, look at this. Bowery level reference. The very start of the game, the Bowery is the slum part of town. Color scheme, typical features, typical buildings. Render section. So I guess this is artistic representations of the renders. This actually looks really nice. I don't know where these assets went. Evo FM. We love it when you nerd out, Val. Thank you. Love the artwork. It is really nice. Especially made in the year 2000. Like, it looks nice. For real though. This is really high quality. This is not the final thing we got though. At all. But these are really good references. I feel like this document is older than half of you guys. See, October 15th, 2000. But man, this is lovely artwork. Insane, I know. It took 25 years for somebody to release this development document. We got some of the gangs from the game that never made it. These guys actually made it. They're called the Hoods. But the artistic render is different. You can't see it too well, but what I see is a bunch of men that are really into. That's what I see. Good quality for back in the day, facts. I think going out and doing the research is great. I agree with that. Almost a art lost in the age of modern gaming. I agree. Yeah, there's some representations, like artistic representations of one of the hunter groups. Now, this document, it's probably a lot bigger than 30 pages, keep in mind, more than half of this is straight up just images of the city. But look, Hunter Group, the Hoods. Now, if you guys play Manhunt, you guys know that the Hoods had masks on. These guys don't even have masks. They're straight up hoodies. They're part of that hoodie mafia. But it says here, the Hoods are the first gang encountered by the player and are the classic street gang collection of gang members, junkies, punks, and alley trash. Their main strength is their knowledge of the Bowery environment. Although the weaponry they possess are mainly knives and clubs, they do have firearms, composed of various racial types, black, white, Mexican, etc. They are an organized, if somewhat volatile gang with an established hierarchy. The appearance, mainly street fashion and label wear relating to the various cultures represented in the gang, or present in the gang. Hoods and caps covered the head, giving away a shadowy appearance. Also, that's what this guy's wearing. That's a hat under a hood. Shades are worn even in the dark, perhaps limiting their searchability, so they're actually blind. That's what they're saying. Animation: the Hoods have a particular body language of the hip-hop American gang style. And this is so 2000s though. Hand gestures are very important in communicating with the player and adding character to their models. Reference is available on gang symbols and gestures. Language will be very important to creating the right feel. So, in the end game, right, they rebranded this gang. They're still called the Hoods, but in Manhunt proper, essentially they tell you that they are a ragtag of off-duty cops that low-key kill, as a side hustle. Pack leaders, Hood pack leader, Skullface, Bone D, whatever. Who names a character Bone D, bro? That's like the lamest name I ever heard. That's the type of name you will see in a pause. But it says here, the first pack leader the player encounters a huge streak thug face painted mask with skull insignia. That's a mouthful, bro. They didn't even break that down with comments or anything. It's just, now that felt like an insult to read. He is dominating and threatening to his pack, ensuring their obedience and his status as alpha male in the pack hierarchy. Think of Jake the Muss from Once Were Warriors, or a taller Mike Tyson, but less well behaved. Possibly dreadlocked, given a Jamaican voodoo feel, or just heavily tattooed. He is an imposing figure and impossible for the player to take on physically. Probably the first time the player gets to use a firearm is against this boss. Gang language and colloquiums, again possibly Jamaican, will add to the authenticity of this character. Bro, that here comes Bone D. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, like that description they used, that's like the most stereotypical thing I'd read in years. Whoever wrote this, they don't know anything about living in the slums whatsoever. Nah. More reference artwork of more impoverished areas, and that's it. It's the year 2000. Facts. I do want to go up a little, revisit this whole Bowery thing. I think it's Bowery level reference. I wonder if Rockstar still has this stored, because this could be an issue for them. Okay, so the very start of the game, the Bowery is the slum part of town, the worst part of town. All the misery, squalor, and decadence of a major city compressed into a scabby handful of tenement blocks. Man, who wrote this? I feel insulted, low-key. Maybe it's because I feel like they're talking to me, and I don't like it. Graffiti. Graffiti strewn building and filthy piss-stained alleys. Litter floors of broken bottles, syringes, and burst bin bags. The inhabitants are a violent mix of winos, junkies, and gang members. The police rarely venture in and the residents rarely venture out. The Bowery also contains the abattoir slaughterhouse interior, a warehouse filled with carcasses on meat hooks. Color scheme. It's past twilight or dusk at this point, giving a grey-blue tinge to the light. Brownstone buildings are lit by flickering yellow sodium bulbs and garish neon. The abattoir would be lit in harsh fluorescent light. Volumetric fogging giving the cold atmosphere effect. I feel like they only use this, the color scheme for the last bit of the game, because even in the beta, the remaining, like the Bowery, is not present at all. Typical features: patch-filled alleys and streets, washing lines and cables strung across street, flickering streetlights. Most neon have been smashed, empty haunted streets. Most buildings are barred and shuttered up at this time. So I think they're referring to like buildings, like commercial buildings. Typical buildings: tenements, abandoned police station overrun by gang members. That would have been a sight to see. Liquor stores, pawn and shops. Sleazy nightclubs, noise blast out from the inside. So the nightclub and the pawn shop, and the shop as well, got used in Manhunt 2. Crack houses, gang graffiti markings, burnt out shells of buildings, backs of takeaway kitchens, shut down hotels, flop houses, closed theaters, empty concrete shopping centers, abattoir, dodgy bars, and pool halls. Let's go to the Wikia real quick. According to Beauty Center, Daniel Safehouse, and the derelict theater. So that's that bit right there. The streets are full of corrupt cops, gangsters, and hitmen. So this is the joint right here. And if I do recall correctly, I only played the PSP version. I did not play the PlayStation 2 version. But if I recall, you could kill one of the gang members with a dick. I really like getting into like press kits and release documents for video games. And I was looking for the bully or Canis Canem Edit. Mainly because I really like the game. But yeah, I'm not finding anything on it. I know it's out there. I know the press kits were at one time fully available, but I'm not finding the press kit. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know. Consider following me on Twitter. Consider following me on Snapchat. Actually, I will be doing a Ask Me Anything on Snapchat tonight, so feel free to do that and partake. Feel free to follow me on Spotify. Subscribe to YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. All the love. It's been really fun.